What's up, guys? Welcome to another episode of Positively Living. In today's episode, I would like to start by answering a comment. So a person actually replied to one of my videos regarding religion, right? So this person said, "This is insane. Humanity did you just fine for a couple of 100,000 years before the invention of religion." Let's start with the inaccuracy of that statement. How was humanity fine when there was no law? Right? There was no, primitively speaking, they are all barbaric. All they do is kill each other for food, or kill each other for survival, or steal from each other. Right? So that is historically inaccurate. You can't say humanity did just fine for a couple of 100,000 years before. So, no, there was no guidance, right? And then the first religion was formed and guidance was set. Law was set to make humanity better, right? However, this person this person did not kind of acknowledge how history was written by the victor, right? And you cannot blame people who are manipulative to corrupt a practice, right? So let's go to the next. Once religion was invented, on the other hand, you get centuries of global war. This global war is started by those people that have corrupted the perfect teaching, right? It's like saying, since knife was invented, people get stabbed all the time. But no, knife was not invented to stab people. Knife was invented to help us cut through bones and meat for consumption and cooking. That was the initial intention. Yes, maybe it was the sharp tool was used to kill animal so that we can consume their meat. However, right, as religion was established, law was established, you can totally see that all this guideline was necessary so that thou shall not kill people for no reason unless it's self-defense, right? So this global war was actually started by people of power that want to corrupt the teaching and use those teaching as an excuse for their corruption. It's not the flaw of the religion, it's the flaw of humanity, right? Those people who are I would say corrupted, they do not have the perfect guidance within themselves, so they just use whatever teaching, like MLM scheme, right? All those scams are perpetuated because they are just trying to take advantage of people's good nature. That's why all those crime exists, right? So yeah, we cannot say that religion is the cause of the war. No, it wasn't. It's man's corruption, and they use those tools as an excuse, right? So just like knife, shouldn't use knife to just stab everyone. No, it's supposed to help you in cooking, in dissecting meat, bones and stuff, so that it's easier for you to cook, right? So one thing you have to know, religion is not the fault. Man is the fault, okay? So because there are only room for one religion, there's not room only for one religion. There's room for many. And all the others have to be killed off. Whose idea was it? Man. It's not religion, right? So who should survive, and more importantly, who should be chosen which countries to be exterminated? Again, man, right? So the fault is with men. It's not with religion. And I figure out this like a few years ago. The more I talk to people, the more I realize that a lot of those people that find flaw in religious teaching never actually read the religious teaching itself. Like, it never read the text, right? How can you judge something without understanding it? It's like judging a book without even reading the book. Like, just looking at the cover and say, this doesn't look like it's gonna entertain me. There's a reason why people use the statement, do not judge a book by its cover, right? And here's the thing, a lot of people that walk around with the I know it all mentality are the people that are the most miserable, are the people that are most angry at things, are the people that have no accountability. So this episode, I will highlight about accountability, right? People need to understand your life is the sum of your action and the consequences of those actions, right? A lot of people do not understand the meaning of life, right? When you ask people what's the meaning of life, a lot of them overcomplicate. To seek happiness, it means nothing, this and that. Like, the more people overcomplicate it, the more ridiculous the answer for that question is, right? However, when you ask them this question, what's the opposite of life? A lot of them that overcomplicate life will immediately conclude that the opposite of life is death, which is which is funny, right? Because the opposite of death is actually birth. Why? Because death is defined as the end of life, and birth is defined as the beginning of life. So those are really the opposite of each other. So the opposite of death, the end of life, is actually birth, the beginning of life, right? So why most people will just answer that the opposite of life is death? Because they overcomplicate life, right? So the real definition of life, as pointed out in the dictionary, I think is the condition of being alive, right? Simple as that, the condition of being alive. And your condition of life is based on the sum of action that you have taken, and that in turn conclude how your life is. So if you have been negative all your life, chances are you will not have a great life. Like, you will be complaining about life all the time. Why? Because you have been negative, you have been ill-informed, you have the lack of accountability, right? So think about it properly. Like, I highlight this in the first episode, right? Like, there's a reason why karma is a thing. There's a religious there's a reason why religious texts talk about karma. You reap what you sow. Like, the whatever misfortune that happens to you is because of your action and consequences. So all this is actually the also the Newton third law, right? Where every action is an opposite equal reaction. So once you understand life is actually that simple, right? You figure out quickly that, you know what, it's time to change. Because if you change nothing will change, right? If you want a good life ahead, now is the time to invest. Now is the time to be good. Now is the time to start becoming a better person, right? Doesn't matter what happened in the past. It's gone. It's done. over. You cannot change the past, right? So your life right now, right, is a sum of your a sum of your action, right? So the consequences of your life right now is the sum of your action. It's time for you, like, if it's not too late to have a good life, it's not, right? All you have to do is change who you are right now, right? And day after day, just try to be better than who you are yesterday, right? Because eventually you will become a better person. Eventually, aim for better, right? So each day, just aim to be better than who you are yesterday. I'm gonna give you an example, right? A lot of the time, people don't see that they are in control of things. They blame everyone else. They do not want to take accountability. But here's the thing, right? Everything that is wrong is your fault. Everything that is wrong, right? You cannot say that I do not have control over this and that. Like, a lot of people, best argument was, what if I'm sad because my loved one just died? I mean, I'm not saying you cannot be sad. I'm just saying do not prolong that sadness, because no amount of sadness can bring them back to life. No amount, right? So stop using them as an excuse to be sad, right? Use their death as a reason for you to appreciate that you are still alive, right? Because they are gone. You are still alive though, right? How do you want to be remembered? It's still up to you, right? Do you want to change your fate then and there, right? Or that guy gone, what legacy has he left behind, right? How is he remembered by his friend and his loved one? If he have lived a great life, being kind to people, being a productive member of society, he will forever be remembered as that. However, if that person is an asshole, that person is someone who have contributed nothing, people just talk shit about him. But after a while, they just forget him. No legacy, nothing, right? So death is actually supposed to be a reminder to us to continue living and continue progressing, right? Because at the end of the day, how you want to be remembered when you die is up to you. Up to you, right? So stop blaming everyone. Stop blaming, oh, I got this happened to me when I was young. So what? It happened. Learn from it. Move on. No amount of regret gonna change anything. A lot of things has happened to me in the past. A lot of things that had I'm sorry. A lot of things has happened to me in the past, right? A lot of bad things has happened to me in the past. I've witnessed violence at a very young age. I'm traumatized still today, but I'm not using those as an excuse to always be sad. You know, to live life with bitterness. I'm not using those as an excuse. I choose to learn what not to expose my kids to, right? Because I don't want them to experience the pain that I've experienced. So what I can do is just try to be a better person that can provide better to the people that I love, especially my kids, right? So I think we as human have the responsibility to make the next generation better, right? I think the purpose of our life is to live it in a better condition that we found it. So do your part. Do your part, right? Because at the end of the day, we are accountable for our action and how we react to circumstances. Do not make things worse. Try your best to make things better, right? Doesn't matter what has happened to you. This is what one of my favorite discovery as well. Like consequences, like circumstances. Sorry, not consequences. Circumstances is given. However, result is within your control, right? You have no control of circumstances. You have the control over the result eventually. Because if you think about let me just give you an example. A good friend of mine, a very good friend of mine, hung himself last year. Killed himself. Right? I'm devastated. I'm very, very sad over the whole thing. Because I stopped him from killing himself 2 years in a row prior to that. Right? But I had a full-time job last year, so I do not have the liberty to meet him as and when he wants. So my mistake was I didn't realize that depression could hit last minute, right? So I lost him to depression. I could sit and be sad all day. However, I choose not, right? I choose to learn from that and know that I'm not responsible for his action. What I can do is just learn to live without him. As much as I miss him, I choose not to use that as an excuse to be an asshole to people. Not to an excuse to be sad all the time. I can. It's a perfectly good excuse to be sad, right? But I choose not to. Yeah, sometimes I miss him. Sometimes, it hit me, but I choose to remember the good times that we had, right? And do understand it is not your responsibility to help everyone. Do try to help as much people as possible, but you cannot help everyone. However, you can always help yourself. You are responsible for you, right? So try to just be a better person every day. So with that, I hope you learn something from here. Like, just think about the result that you want, and when the circumstances present themselves to you, before you react to things, just think through how you want the result to be, and just focus on those actions, right, that will give you the result that you want. So the result that I want from that scenario was not to be too sad, right? Just understand that you are given a chance to be better every day. Are you utilizing those days properly? If not, it's okay. Try tomorrow. Just be better. with that, I wish you good night or good morning. Peace out.